But what I want to talk about here is the chametz on the spiritual level, right? The spiritual chametz represents what was most evil about Egypt, what Egypt represented at its core. Egypt was not just a nation steeped in idolatry, but their most powerful idols were very revealing for what is one of the most greatest impulses in idolatry. It's the ability to create and to fashion and to design your own God in order to control that God, in order to be able to control the world around you and control your fate. It gives you this feeling, this illusion of control. For if you were to create your own God, if you create your God, then you're in the driver's seat. You're not at the mercy of a power greater than yourself, but in creating and designing your own God, in your deeper consciousness, you're declaring yourself the ultimate God. And that's what the entire Exodus was about. God could have taken the nation of Israel out of Egypt in one swift plague, but it was not about the outcome. It was about the journey. And the 10 plagues were about systematically disabusing not only the Egyptians, but the Israelites of this illusion, ridding them of this illusion. And not only ridding the Israelites, but the entire world of these illusions of control, to rid them of their belief in all other powers other than the ultimate one true power of the world, the God of Israel. So back to chametz. Rav Kluger, he explains that it is not only that chametz represents puffed up arrogance, being full of hot air, as they say, but chametz also represents, by extension, this idea of control. For arrogance and control are definitely strongly related to each other. For when making bread, he explains, you can shape the bread. You can mold it according to your will, but not with matzah. Matzah remains simple and flat and humble, whereas chametz and bread represent someone that believes they are ultimately in control of their lives. That's what the chametz represents, that they know the way things should be. But matzah represents someone who is completely surrendering to Hashem's will, who they are what they are. And it was that complete surrender that made the Exodus so beautiful and sweet in the eyes of Hashem. It was that surrender of which Hashem spoke with loving nostalgia through the prophet Jeremiah in chapter 2, verse 2. So said Hashem, I remember the kindness of your youth, love of your betrothal, you going after me into the desert of an unsown land. La'eretz lo zru'ah. We followed God into the desert. The Jewish people had no idea how this journey was going to go. They didn't even have time to prepare provisions on the way. They didn't even have time for the bread to rise. Such was their level of faith in Hashem. That is why matzah is called the bread of emunah, the bread of faith.
This highlight was taken from the Land of Israel Fellowship. Every week, hundreds of families from literally around the world come together on our live Zoom sessions to strengthen each other, to inspire each other, and to learn Torah from the Land of Israel, in which we connect the dots between the Bible, the Hebrew language, and the confusing events of our times. Go to www.thelandofisrael.com/fellowship or click on the link below to join. Thank you.